and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005, you were listening to Gamer Tag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Paris, Pasta. Come on.
Welcome to Gamer Tag Radio episode 470. This is your host Godfrey, and also we have the weekly co-host. Let's start off with Paris. What's going on, Paris?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I got a lot of feedback this week. I think we might be talking about it.
A lot of feedback.
Knock the
Very
dust
curious.
off that inbox.
Well, I was going to present Pete, but I guess he just, started talking. Hey, Pete, welcome to the show.
That's me. Hey, I didn't want to get called last this time. Feeling
No,
jealous.
I had this
low.
planned. I had this planned. Pawson J is last for this week.
Good.
What's up, Pawson?
What's up? I'll bring up the rear. Not too much, you guys. Just hanging out.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing else.
Just chilling, really. I mean, nothing else too much going on.
Is it still cold over there?
Oh, it's freezing, man. I mean, like, if you lived in the north, you'd think I was like a wuss for thinking it's cold down here. But for living in the deep south, what I would consider the deep south, it's way too cold.
Oof. Okay.
I've never understood
We're getting
that.
sub temperatures, but still no snow.
I've never understood that. Georgia's considered the deep south, and then Florida's like the penis of the country. It's like they don't even
Oh
consider
my
it.
God, Pete.
I don't know. Florida's like, you could have the worst time of your life or the best time of your life. It completely depends on what Florida.
I'm just
part
going to
of
piss you
Florida
off
you're in.
even more. It was like 85 degrees today in South Florida.
Oh,
Yeah, it
killing
was-
me, man.
yeah, it was really hot
struggling for
today.
40s over here.
I wish.
Yeah.
Wish we could trade.
I don't know.
All right, guys, remember, head over to Gamertag Radio or play.it to listen to our past episodes. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff, man. Also, give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Or fan mail at gamertagradio.com. And we do have a lot of fan mail. Jesus. I think Paris hyped the crowd up and everybody just started emailing and also tweeting, which is good, right?
No, it was real good. I was actually very happy and surprised to see all the positive feedback for Sunset Overdrive. There was some people that did agree with me, but I would say the vast majority were definitely defending the game. And it gave me an idea. First of all, let me say this. I just want to thank everybody for the feedback. No one got crazy or were cussing at me or anything like that. Everybody was pretty respectable. They gave their arguments. They gave their side as to why they actually liked the game. So I do appreciate that. But it gave me an idea. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be able to do this because just my real life schedule has been kind of crazy. But I think I want to try and plan it out so give people a chance to be able to attend. But I think I'll do a Twitch stream and I'm just going to play Sunset Overdrive and I'll just commentary as I'm playing and the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we'll just go through the game together. I think that'll be kind of fun to do. So maybe next episode I'll actually nail down a date, put it out there, give people a little advance warning so they can join me for a Twitch session.
Awesome. I think you should try out the multiplayer with a couple.
See, now
listeners.
you went too far. See,
What's wrong with
You crossed
we
the-
were having a good time here. I'm being humble. I'm admitting, hey, maybe I made a
my
mistake.
God.
I'm going to play the game. And then you just try to just throw salt in it. Well, I also think you need to play the multiplayer. Look, baby steps, Danny. Baby steps. Let's see if I can even get through the single player before you try to get me to do
Oh my
multiplayer.
God. I'm just giving you ideas, Paris. That's all. That's all, man. It's all good. But by the way, Paris, I know there was a correction we have to fix for this week.
Yes. Last week, Pete was talking about the one game that would get him to get a PlayStation 4, and he was talking about No Man's Sky. And then, I pulled a Danny and I interrupted him. And and I said it was also going to be on the PC at the same time, too. Actually, that's incorrect. It is a PlayStation 4 timed exclusive with a PC version coming at a later date. So, Pete, there you go. If you want to play No Man's Sky right away, you'll have to get a PlayStation 4.
There you go. He was trying to block the sale from Sony.
He blocked himself. I mean, if you wanted that bad, Pete, then there are good games on there, I promise. Besides No Man's Sky, but
I guess we'll find out later.
I don't know
today,
about that, Paul. See, we got that order review coming. I don't know. Wait on that.
That's
hey, by
later
the time
on.
No Man's Sky come out, I think we can all agree. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. I guess I'm still pending a Nintendo purchase if Star Fox actually happens. So Might be some more consoles in my future.
Yeah, it's happening. Pete.
We'll see. We'll see this summer. We'll definitely see this summer when I put my hands on. It's no longer vaporware. When I actually put my hands on a demo or some kind of a beta of either Star Fox and or No Man's Sky at E3. We'll see. Got a couple more months to make that decision for me.
This will mean nothing to anyone listening to this podcast, but we'll all understand this. You are truly the Jason Van Beveren of gaming. We'll
What
see.
the hell?
We'll
You just
see.
called me Skittles.
We'll see.
There can only be one Skittles, dude. No.
Oh, that's my boy. Of course, I got to give him a shout out.
Explain yourself. Now you have to explain yourself.
Well, if you listen to the Remember When podcast or you listen to Uncle Gamer, that is Jay. That's my co-host. And that was his favorite line for everything. Like, we get into any kind of discussion about something, and if I back him into a corner, he was just like, okay, we'll see. That's how he gets out everything. Okay,
That's like Danny's excuse. Danny, though, trust me. They're going to do it. Trust me.
look.
Trust me. Hey, listen. So good. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things. We have a lot of topics. So one thing I do want to mention, though, is that, Pawson, the other day, I decided to buy a new 3DS. Right?
Oh, nice.
So I was on a mission, man. I went to a couple stores. Everything was like sold out. They were like, look, it's been sold out since launch. I was like, okay. I went to Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop. And I was like, okay, let me go to Target to see if they have it. I really doubt it, but whatever. So they only had 2 left over there, right?
Wow.
So I'm there waiting for one of the employees to open the cabinet, whatever, for the 3DS. And this lady snatched the first one out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get this.
You beat her up and took it?
No, I didn't.
Next.
So I grabbed I got the last one. So, I paid and everything. I went home, and my plan was to transfer everything from my old 3DS to the new device. So I was like, it's going to be easy. Let me just do this, whatever. So I did the wireless transfer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was smooth and was fast, whatever. So then I gave my old 3DS to one of my nephews. I gave it to him. So I turned on my new one, and nothing appeared. No games. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Only my Nintendo ID was there. I was like, wait a minute, this is not cool. What's going on? I went to the SD card, tried everything. None of the games were there. So when I went to the eShop, they said that I could re-download the games. But that's it. Everything that I had there before, completely gone. Tetris, the old first Tetris that I had for the original Game Boy, completely gone. They removed it from the eShop, and I was extremely pissed. So I don't know what Nintendo they were thinking, but this whole old school way that you have to like remove the SD card, plug it into your computer, and then you have to put it back to the 3DS to transfer. It's just a mission. I don't like it at all. That part, but the device, love it. The battery lasts long. Playing Monster Hunter and a couple other games, the loading time is a lot faster. Even the 3D works on this one. The 3D, what I like about this is that you're looking at it, right, with the 3D on, and it doesn't bother you like the old one. That when you move around on this one, the 3D follows you. So
really,
yeah,
it tracks like when you're looking on it.
Yep.
Oh wow,
It's
that is a game changer.
A lot.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and also they have this small analog stick on the side. It reminds me a lot of the laptops that have that little
that little pseudo mouse button.
Yes, it has that. So it's good. I've been using that a lot playing Monster Hunter. So overall, it's a great device. I mean, look, I'm gonna play a lot more this week, so I can talk about it and maybe review it next week. But I just want to let you guys know very quick of my first impressions of the game.
Can I play devil's
device.
advocate real quick?
Yes, Paris.
Aren't you sick of Nintendo doing this to you?
Of course.
I mean, seriously. I think I was telling you this offline. I don't remember if I said this on a podcast a few days ago or whatever. But my son wants the new one. I told him no. For what? You got one. There's nothing wrong with the 3DS XL or whatever it's called that you have right now. You don't need
for now.
But
for
instead
now.
of Nintendo actually innovating and just pushing the, mobile technology of the DS further. They're just iterating on it, and they're getting you to spend your money on the same thing again. It's the same thing. What? I understand the small things that you're saying about the improvements with the 3D and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, you could have kept your old 3DS, and it's basically doing the same exact thing. You're still playing the games the same way. It's not doing anything new.
Well, like I
there's
said,
certain games you won't be able to play without the new one.
Okay, and that's ridiculous.
Only one. Yeah,
Well,
I agree. I think it's terrible.
It is terrible, but
That's what Nintendo's doing.
That's Nintendo for them to get people to buy the product. I'm excited.
Hey, here's a hint. Put out a new 3DS with improved technology.
Yeah, 3DS
I bet you they get everybody to go buy that.
Even 3DSU, give it a stupid name, but at least make it a full sequel to the thing.
Hey, it's selling. Let me tell you. I couldn't find the device. I couldn't find this. I went to so many stores and it was sold out. So, and even online sold out. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good with this. I gotta give it to Nintendo,
I don't know.
man.
To me, to be perfectly honest with you, Nintendo is probably one of the most frustrating video companies in history because their first party lineups, they make some of the greatest, most innovative games we've ever seen. They are probably the best developer out there, period. Right?
Yeah.
But their choices with hardware and the way that they reinvent the same piece of hardware over and over again is just frustrating. Instead of just moving on and just improving, like I said, improving what the actual technology that they have in the Wii U or like we said, even in 3DS or whatever, just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And
isn't it like Apple because they're doing the same exact thing with their phone?
But the smartphone tech,
I mean, Apple's worse.
But you can get away with still having an iPhone 4. You know what I mean? You can have an iPhone 4. It's going to do everything that an iPhone 6 can do. And I could be wrong. It might be a 4S or something you need. But the point is, you can have one of the older iPhones and still run all the same apps and still do all the same things. It just won't do it as well. Things like Touch ID and all that, they're option. You don't have to have them. If you really have to have that, if you really have to have Siri, then all right, go get the newer hardware. But what Nintendo's doing is they're not even really adding anything into it to give me an incentive to want to go out and buy the new piece of hardware. Oh, maybe it just the clock speed's a little better. Maybe like you said, the 3D is just a bit better. Is that really enough to go out and drop another $150, $200 on that piece of hardware? I don't think so.
I think if it's your primary game platform, and I do know some people that only play on 3DS, then yeah, I could see the value in that. But again, if you have multiple systems, especially consoles or a PSP or a Vita, again, or Xenoblade and the Monster Hunter, they got to show me more games to make me even remotely interested in it, because there's got to be like a straight up Zelda or Pokemon or some, amazing, like a World Ends With You sequel or something that's only on new 3DS. Then I'd have to jump on it. But for me, I just prefer to make a 3DS too. Like I said, same thing, just make another Wii U. But again, that's not their business plan.
Changing and innovating and making bigger, better things. It's literally, it's a Nintendo it's a Nintendo, cell phone. It's a smartphone without the phone. Really think about it. I mean, I have to agree with Paris. Especially over the last couple of years, especially like with the 3DS and the 3DS XL, they haven't really changed anything other than the size. I mean, it's, I guess you could liken it to the iPhone 6 and this iPhone 6, whatever, S, what I think it was called for the large one or whatever.
Plus, the 6
Yeah,
Plus.
Or the plus, whatever. I wouldn't know. But why every year? Like, why can't they do the same thing like they do with the Wii, where they say, okay, every 3 or 4 or 5 years, they're going to, that's when the console shelf life is over. We'll create another one. Why does it have to be every year?
Well, it is. They're trying to improve it, like to make it better than the last. I mean, that's the only thing I could see.
Then maybe Nintendo needs to take a better look at their hardware, and instead of producing mass hardware that has a limited shelf life, look forward towards the future. They don't do it with the Nintendo 3DS. They don't do it with the Wii or the Wii U. They always sit there with last year's technology and then put it out. They need to do what Microsoft did or is doing with the Xbox One, looking forward towards DX12 and its compatibility. Do what Sony did with the PlayStation 4, using DDR5 memory instead of the slower DDR3 memory. Things like that. Innovate so that your product lasts longer. And then, I don't know. Maybe just Nintendo.
I know. I'm loving the device. So
Of course you are.
It's all good. Of course.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
I want to have a conversation with Paris and maybe Pete about this.
All right, I think it's
just pause it. Yeah, pause it.
No, because I don't know what because I already have an idea what Pete and Paris thinks about this. Microsoft today announced that Fable Legends is going to be a totally free to play game for Xbox One and also for Windows 10.
Hello, I'm David Eckelberry, Game Director of Fable Legends. I have some great news to share with you here today. Fable Legends is our exciting new game from Lionhead Studios, in which you can join as a team of 4 heroes fighting in real time against a human villain. Last month, we revealed to the world that Fable Legends will be available on Windows 10 PCs, in addition to Xbox One. Now, that's going to be really exciting for me as a game developer, because my real goal is to deliver this game to as many of you as possible. We want everyone to play this fun new game we have. That brings me to our big exciting news today. Fable Legends will be free to play. Everyone and anyone can download and play Fable Legends whenever they want. We're going to be making Fable Legends an amazing experience for you, the gamer. And that means we're going to make you 3 commitments about how we build the game. Our first commitment to you is to be open. That means you can play every bit of the content, every story and every quest. Enjoy every element of the game completely for free. Our second commitment is to be fair. That means that everything in the game that affects your power level, everything that, makes you stronger or, more able to win, well, you're going to be able to earn all of that. If you want to get a high-level character in Fable Legends, that's great. You have to earn it. Our final commitment to you is simply to be generous. When I think about great free-to-play games that I've enjoyed, I've played them for hours on end. I've really enjoyed them, and I've thought, I'm going to buy something cool in this game simply because I want to reward the people that made it. So we want you to love Fable Legends. Our most important goal is that you're having a fun time in the game. We want a big, happy community out there that comes back day after day and week after week. So please, come join us at FableLegends.com. Talk to us on Twitter or Facebook or other social media. Sign up for the beta and start playing the game for yourselves. We're really excited to welcome you on this journey because we have an amazing game that we've been building for you, and we couldn't be happier to show it off to the world.
I know that we had a discussion on our chat that this is a pretty bad move for Microsoft. Personally, I don't think so. But there's other games that I've been noticing that is also free to play. They announced this a couple days ago. Neverwinter for the Xbox One is going to be free to play. I believe the new Dynasty Warriors are going to have a free-to-play version.
Mm-hmm. Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires.
Yes.
The one with the strategy part, if you like that part of it.
And Nintendo released a Pokemon puzzle game for the 3DS, which is also free-to-play. So our conversation was, is it a bad idea or not? I personally think that if a company creates a game that is free-to-play and it's well done and I think it's worth it to spend, money here and there for like maybe DLC or for items, whatever. Like if it's done correctly, that I feel is good, I think it's a great idea. Now, if it's something that it's really annoying that you have to wait like a certain time to play again and all that stuff, I just don't like that part at all. But Paris, I want to hear what you have to say about this, though.
Well, with regards to Fable Legends, just to give people insight into our daily chats, when you first posted that, my immediate thought was, I go, this is terrible. This is a terrible idea. You've taken the Fable franchise and you've dumbed it down to being into the free-to-play model. I'll pass. I have no interest in this at all. Honestly, I didn't really have that much interest in Fable Legends even before if it was just going to be a straight-up $60 retail game. But watching the video, seeing some of the other information that's come out today regarding how they plan to handle the free-to-play model, I'm okay with that. I mean, if you play Plants vs. Zombies 2 on the iPad, it's similar to that. You can achieve everything in the game without having to pay for anything. Everything's unlocked. That's fine. So I'm okay with the model. I'm just personally overall not a fan of free to play games. Just not. Just to me, it feels like you're basically telling me at some point you're going to try and get me to buy something instead of you're not confident enough in your game to charge me up front. So you feel like you need me to play it first to charge me later. So I'm just not a fan of that overall. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm not hating. I know there's plenty of successful ones like Warframe. I know is a pretty popular one, things like that. But I do get what Microsoft's doing with this, because the fact that they're pushing this along with Windows 10, there's going to be the cross-platform play. They're trying to get it into as many people's hands as possible so that they can. So I think they're taking, this is my opinion again, I think they're taking Fable Legends and they're using it as the sacrificial lamb to get people used to cross-platform gaming. That's what I think. I think this.
So people could buy. Yeah. So people could buy an Xbox One or Windows 10.
Right. They can pick up a game.
Well, not buy, but actually download Windows 10 because it's actually free. So yeah.
Well, are you done cutting me off? Can I?
Yeah, I'm not cutting you off. I'm just I'm correcting myself.
Yeah, well, no, but the point I was trying to make was this is so people can dip their toe in the water with cross-platform gaming, see that it does work, so that in the future, when there is a big title that they want to charge you $60 for, either on Windows 10 or Xbox One, people will be more receptive to picking it up because they'll feel like the cross-platform play will actually work. That's all.
Well, I know that they also announced, I believe yesterday, that they are going to have a Fast and Furious / Forza game available to download for free for people to play it. I think this takes place before the new movie comes out, like storyline wise. I don't know. I don't have the full details yet, but if you guys want, go online and stuff and search. But yeah, they announced that too. Like I like this, new way of free to play because I'm so used to it with the whole mobile gaming side. But we don't see that. We don't see that with the console.
You can't use mobile yet as the jump off platform for a free-to-play game coming from retail. So my whole argument on our earlier conversation for the listeners is my comment was, free-to-play is where titles go to die after their success has waned for any particular title. Now, as Paris said, there are those exceptions to the rule, and I believe the overriding one was Star Wars: The Old Republic, where that's that retail game that originally came out as pay up front and play, but transitioned to a free-to-play game that survived on via a monthly subscription cost. But I want to, this is a hypothetical number, but I'm pretty, I can pretty fairly back it up. There's a 90% failure rate for retail titles that have transitioned over to free-to-play. Besides The Old Republic, it's really, really hard to name out another major title that's transitioned over successfully to the free-to-play model. And I know Danny said he tried to use Pokemon, but the Pokemon free-to-play mobile game had nothing to do.
No. You're wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the game that actually came out for the 3DS. That's a free-to-play game.
It came out free-to-play on the 3DS.
Yeah, on 3DS. It came out 2 weeks ago, a few weeks ago. Yeah,
right. But
I have it on my device.
Okay, that's fine. But does that also mean that that's it? Pokemon is no longer going to be a 3DS game retail?
No.
It was just an add-on. It was just an add-on.
It's not an add-on. It's an actual game. I have it on my
add-on.
device. What I'm saying is,
it's a secondary game, but it's been out for 2 weeks though, Danny. Let me speak. It's been out for 2 weeks. You can't say it's a success or not. Give it a month or two.
Who's saying it's a success? Who is saying that? I'm giving you examples.
Right.
You're saying mention a game
that has succeeded from the transition. Tell me.
Like I'm talking about, it's a big name, Pokemon. Like think of it, Pete. You know how many people are gonna download that game?
That doesn't mean it's a success, though.
But I'm saying is Nintendo right now and other companies are experimenting to see if it's going to work for them or not. It's very successful on mobile. Why they can't do it on the console?
It's been out for 2 weeks.
They've done it on PC.
But Danny, you're going to call it a success after 2 weeks?
I'm not saying. Where have I said that?
You just said it 4 times on the show in the last.
No, what I'm
seconds.
saying is the name Pokemon is a big name. Nintendo right now is experimenting to see if it's going to work for them for this device. Microsoft is doing it for their console, and PlayStation has done it too on the PlayStation 4. So
what games on the PlayStation 4 has done it?
Non-mobile is that you have the brand names like Fable and Pokemon. They're going to carry these titles based off the title alone and the legacy of the series. Whether you like it or not, you recognize the name Fable. And, certainly what Dynasty Warriors is. So I think they're playing it smart by picking games that people at least are interested in that wouldn't drop the money for them, that would be interested. I mean, like y'all said earlier, like Paris said, I wasn't that interested in Fable to begin with because thinking it was a $60 game. But now I'm very interested in it because I see myself playing Xbox Live whenever this comes out. And if it's free and if we all have it and I can play according to this 4 years at a time, they swap out every 2 weeks. That sounds like a pretty good deal, and I definitely would not drop any, $60 on that game. And there's plenty of other things coming out that I'd rather play instead. But being free to play, it draws my attention. Like I'll go and download Dynasty Warriors 8 Empire because it's a free game and I like Dynasty Warriors. But again, I wouldn't have gone out and spent any money on that. But the brand recognition is enough for me that it gets me to go and download the product at least. So I think that's the edge that they have over the mobile, where the mobile ones, they're all clones of each other more or less with very generic names, and it's hard to tell them apart. Yep. So I think that's the edge the video game industry has over the mobile industry right now.
And one last thing before we change the topic, I know for a fact that if Activision and Bungie release a Destiny free game in the future, you guys will be the first ones to download it.
And don't say no. I know for a fact, but
because you are a fan of Destiny.
But then you throw a qualifier. You know for a fact, but it's a qualifier. Come on, Danny.
Pete, it's I'm right. You would have been the first one downloading that.
How many mobile games do I play daily?
Pete, I'm talking about console. You would have been downloading Destiny for free the same day it'll come out. Yes or no?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. No,
I'll be real. I would try it, but I'd probably hate it.
Maybe, but you never know.
Not
the free to play. Not with the free to play. I mean,
it could work. It could work for Destiny.
No, it cannot.
Yes, it can.
The second you tell me the second you tell me I got to buy Gallahorn or Hawkmoon or something, I'm out.
I'm out. Exactly. I'm not going to throw money. I'm not going to throw it. I'd rather have all of the additional content up front as opposed to having to pay little by little by little by little. Because at least with $60, with $60 you're getting a full blown game, regardless of the game length. But you're getting all of it now, and I'm not including DLC or extra or like timed exclusive bonuses like Hawkmoon for the PlayStation. But the moment that usually occurs, if and when I do play a free to play game, the moment I get hit with the, if you want to continue, do this. And actually, the Old Republic is guilty of that too. Once you hit a certain level, you hit that level cap, you actually gain XP slower than if you did the paid monthly subscription. So,
but I think that will gas people to to actually buy. I don't know. But all right, let's take topics. Thanks for the debate, man. I like that little debate, Pete.
Yeah, no worries.
It's all good. All right, so right now we're going to play a podcast exclusive. What? The what?
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, so right now we're going to play a podcast exclusive. This is an interview with Zelda, Symphony of the Goddess. They're on tour right now, and I believe they're coming here to Miami, and Boston. They're going to Georgia sometime too. I think in May, around the same time. So yeah, I'll keep you posted about that, man. I'm excited about it. So I interviewed one of the people that handle the whole symphony and stuff. So we're gonna be talking about it right now. Shout out to Jason. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
This is a Gamer Tag Radio exclusive.
All right, so this week we have a special interview. We're going to be interviewing Jason Michael Paul. We're going to be talking about Zelda Symphony that's going to be on tour around the nation, and it's coming over here to Miami pretty soon. So, Jason, welcome to the show, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us how this concept came about and how long it took for Nintendo to actually approve this.
Yeah, well, this isn't our first time to Miami. We're actually, we had a show at the Arts Center with the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses, but this time we're coming back to Miami with an all-new show. Master Quest. And it is indeed what it sounds like, the Master Quest. It's got all new music from A Link Between Worlds, also new music from Majora's Mask, as well as new footage from Majora's Mask, obviously, with the latest release. We cover a lot of ground. As far as Nintendo giving me the rights, I've had the rights since 2011. It's just a wonderful collaboration between my company and Nintendo.
I know the first time I got to see you guys live was during the Nintendo E3, I believe 2012?
It was actually 2011.
2011. Yeah, I got to see you guys perform live, and that was a pretty epic moment. Never will forget that. How was the experience, going on tour for the first year?
Well, that first year was great. I think it's evolved even better since. I think the current show that we have is even better. It's now that we've been doing this for a few years now, we've definitely worked out all the kinks. And the show is just it's got everything.
I mean, what other changes you guys made though?
Well, obviously since the first concerts, we've had A Link Between Worlds, we've had Skyward Sword, so we have new material there. And then of course we have a remix. We have Wind Waker HD. We have Majora's Mask 3D. So. We've continually updated the program and the show with the new footage and new content, so it's all updated, reworked a lot of the scenes. We've even made it so that we have music from the 25th anniversary concerts that I did are now part of the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses. So it's just a great mix of music, everything from the boss battle medley to the new Majora's Mask suite that we've made. So it's great.
And the cool thing, too, that you also show footage of the actual game that you're playing the music, right?
Oh yeah, so everything in the music is in perfect sync with the visuals. So everything from a timpani splash, it's all perfectly in sync with all the video cut. Any
of your favorites? Can you mention the ones that you like the most?
Yeah, I really like Boss Battle. The Boss Battle medleys, it's awesome, and I personally directed the A Link Between Worlds arrangement as well as the visuals, so I'm really proud of that. It turned out beautifully, and it actually plays down better than it sounded when I was actually dreaming it up. And then, of course, the new Majora's Mask arrangement that we created for this concert is just amazing. The visuals, the music, everything about it. It's got a lot of musical elements that I really love. So it's just perfect. Everything is exactly how I want it to be, and of course, it's exactly how Nintendo wants it to be. Seeing that I'm working closely with Koji Kondo and Mr. Aonuma, we just did a Majora's Mask concert in Tokyo, and I was actually in Tokyo with Aonuma-san and Koji Kondo, and then I was in Kyoto, of course, with Miyamoto-san, Aonuma-san, and Kondo-san. It was pretty amazing. It was a pretty amazing experience, but just the fact that I'm even able to work with them and be able to closely work with them, it's just amazing, and it's just been a phenomenal experience.
Was that their first time seeing this live?
Oh, no. It was just the first time them seeing this live. It's just the first time they've seen the Majora's Mask 3D live. So that was the whole point. It was a promotion for the Majora's Mask 3D that just came out.
I mean, this is cool, man. I really like this. I'm very excited. I've never been to the concert. I only seen the performance at E3. How long is this? Like the total show? Like how long is it?
Total show? It's just about 2.5 hours. So the whole program, is all online, but it's we have an overture, we have the interludes, and then we have the symphony, the 4-movement symphony. So movement 1, movement 2, and then we have intermission. And then after intermission, we have an intermezzo, which is the fairy fountain. And then we go into the movement 3 and movement 4 of the 4-movement symphony. And then we have the finale, which is spectacular. The great thing about this show, which is brand new, is we actually have words from the actual creators themselves. So there's not a narrator anymore. It's actually the narrators are Miyamoto-san, Aonuma-san, and Kondo-san. So it's their video with amazing backgrounds and also subtitles as they kind of take you on this journey through the Legend of Zelda.
And how hard was it to pick the right songs for the show? Because there's like the soundtrack of every game from Zelda has been really amazing. So, I mean, based on what? Is it based on popularity? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think it's based on a lot of factors, but obviously the main themes, a lot of the main themes. There's a lot of history there. It's over 28 years. So, we have the main themes, of course, but we also have more game-specific type things, Also, just things that translate well with orchestra as a consideration. So, some music is written, it's not as easy to perform live. So, those are also considerations. Koji Kondo, he has a lot of input on what's performed and what's not. So, we really defer to him. He's the end-all, be-all. So, what he says goes. We look to him for advice and what he would like to have turned into a full orchestra suite. That's kind of, and then of course the fans, the fans have input as well. We're constantly listening to the fans and reading the blogs, and I'm personally getting recommendations and some very talented arrangers are actually sending me scores. It's exciting.
This is going to be my first time checking it out. When the show begins, this is based on a timeline, based on when the games came out, like to show like the history of Zelda, or it's like a mix in between?
Well, the timeline is always kind of a gray area with Legend of Zelda. So, but what we do is we do take you through our own chronology and kind of telling a story. It's kind of more or less a retelling, with all the games represented that are obviously the Legend of Zelda first party releases. So it's somewhat of a retelling of the story of the Legend of Zelda. We definitely cover that, but there's not really a definitive timeline, so to speak.
Okay. Are you guys planning to go internationally, after the U.S., for those that would like to see you guys maybe in Latin America or in Europe?
We've been there, done that. We are going back to Mexico. In fact, this month, March, we're going to be in Mexico City and Monterrey, Mexico on March 6th and 8th at the arenas, respectively, in Monterrey Arena and also in Mexico City Arena. So, we've been doing this, man, for a while now. We've been touring the world. So we're touring the world now with a brand new, all new, just a perfect show that anyone who went and saw the show in Miami last time, they're in for a treat because this show is even better and it's brand new.
Awesome, man. I'm excited for that, man. I know you're also a gamer. Are you excited for the new Zelda game coming out later this year?
I mean, this is an exciting time to be a Zelda fan, this is what it's all about. We're closing in on a 30-year history, and I'm 38. So, this is near and dear to my heart. I just feel blessed to be in where I'm at right now at this very moment and working with this franchise, this company, Nintendo, and the people that are working on Zelda at Nintendo are just as passionate as the fans, except for obviously they're in the power to make a change. And we're in the process of spreading the world with the Legend of Zelda. That's the goal. Everyone needs to experience it in some shape or form, and that's hopefully what we can achieve with these concerts. Is we're giving fans their glimpse, but we're also giving non-fans, people that are becoming fans, to our concert.
For more information about tour dates and any more information about the Zelda Symphony, where they should go.
We have a lot of things right now. In fact, Nintendo just released kind of like a behind-the-scenes documentary on the Tokyo show. It's actually on their YouTube channel, and it's really cool. I highly recommend it, and it's something that's being broadcasted on Nintendo and their respective channels. But the website, www.zelda-symphony.com, is your source for everything, from the program to pictures to contact to soon to be online shop that we're launching. There's everything. There's tour dates. There's link to buy tickets. So, and obviously in Miami, it's a big deal. Miami, don't sleep. The show will come and go as quick as unless you get tickets. So please support and come out and see the show. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Discount too. We also have a discount code set up.
Oh yeah, mention it. Go for it.
It's not official, but it's Nintendo, and the code is Hey Listen.
I like that code. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
15% off using the discount code Hey Listen.
Well, thanks a lot, man. And guys, make sure to support this because this is something different. And if you're into the whole history about games and into Zelda, this is like a perfect opportunity to see something totally different that never been done before. So this this is pretty big. So, but thanks a lot, Jason.
Much respect.
All right, cool.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so we're back here. Shout out to Jason and everybody over there that were part of this interview, man. Pretty cool, man. I can't wait to check out the event here in Miami pretty soon. And Boston, I hope you should check it out over there too in Georgia.
Yeah, let me know your feedback.
Kind of similar to like
It
Video
sounds
Game Live.
amazing.
Actually, it'll be
Yeah, Video Games Live was great.
Actually, it'll be in Atlanta before it comes to Miami.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Oh, okay, I gotta look into that then. Good call.
Guys, promo code Hey Listen, so you could get a discount. All right.
How could we ever forget that?
I know, right? It's perfect. All right, so right now we're gonna review the order 1886. So we're gonna start out with Boston first, and then after that, we're gonna have some Q&A and some feedback.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Paulston J here with another review for you for this week, and this time we're discussing the Order 1886 for the PlayStation 4. Now, the Order, if you don't know, it's a third-person shooter set in Victorian London in an alternate history where the technology is about 50 years more advanced than what it should be, so they have, scientific weapons, fully automatic rifles, things like that. The story is you play as a knight, Sir Galahad, and member of the Order, which is a very ancient order of knights from protecting the Empire for a very long time. The game is set up where, the Order now is facing an existential threat from rebels inside the Empire trying to bring the Empire down, as well as supernatural threats in the forms of lichens, werewolves, if you will, that have started popping up here and there again. An ancient enemy kind of thing. Gameplay-wise, this is one of my favorite third-person shooters ever. The controls are tight, it's fluid, great transition between combat and cover. It's all very seamless and smooth. The weapon design is some of my favorite that I've seen in recent years. All the weapons have that semi-steampunk feel while still being grounded in reality. And they pretty much cover all the kinds of weapons you'd want. Shotguns, pistols, sniper rifles, exotic weapons like an art gun that shoots lightning, a thermite launcher that shoots essentially incendiary explosions you can detonate on command, rocket launchers, all that kinds of stuff. Really cool weapons. I mean, these are the kind of guns that you're going to go back through and replay these segments, over and over again if you're like me, because the weapon design is so good. The AI design is fun enough where they keep you, occupied and under pressure, but you can still dominate them with superior tactics. Really good third-person cover design. You're taking straight out of Gears of War playbook kind of from this game. But it's really fun to play. The only real negative to this game, as I'm sure a lot of people have been talking about, is the length. And, it took me on hard difficulty 6 hours and 35 minutes to hit the credits. And I got to say, as a hardcore shooter fan, in this instance, I was not satisfied. I think the game ends about halfway earlier than it should, because I think if this game had been twice as long, it could have been one of the best games not only of this year, but certainly of the new generation, because the game is very well designed. I mean, the story is very strong. The dialogue, the voice acting is exceptional. Sadly, the cutscenes are unskippable, so you will have to watch them over and over again if you want to replay the game. But thankfully, because of the chapter select that you unlock once you finish the game, you can go back through and play the fun parts and try to skip all the heavy cutscene and dialogue parts. Now, the real knock I got to give against this game is the selling point of the games at the beginning is, you get to fight werewolves. That is, the main directive of your order is protect against supernatural. But I got to say, fighting the werewolves in this game is actually the most boring part by far, because it happens only a couple of times in the game, and I mean a couple, and it's very repetitive. You shoot them, they go down, you run up, you push melee to finish them off with a little dramatic cutscene thing, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. It's so bad. Like, I don't know what their game design was, but it's not fun at all. You'll do it when you have to, but I promise you won't be going back and replaying those bits of the game, because they're just not fun at all. And the boss fights, not to ruin too much, but they tried to go so far out of left field with this semi quick time event / 3D fighting game style to it that completely just jerks you out of the experience. You go from playing a really fun third-person shooter to like a really ghetto version of Tekken, and it's just not fun at all. And they even consider that, they reuse that twice. Once early on to be like, oh, here's fighting the werewolves, and at the end of the game, it's like, do that again. And you're like, all right, credits, and you're just like, who made these decisions? It's terrible. But I think, if the game had been longer and taken out, the heavy use of the quick time events and the really strange choice for the boss fights, this could have been a really great game. So sadly, I got to say, for $60, I don't think it's worth it. It's only really worth it if you're one of the hardcore people that has to have the new cutting edge stuff out there. Because, it is a very beautiful, very fun game. You'll have very much, and you'll enjoy playing it for sure. But the replay value is just not there. Other than reloading the segments again to do some of the fun fight parts, or if you want to go get some, random collectibles here and there, you're not going to be too thrilled to be, go back and play through the whole thing again. Because, again, cutscenes are unskippable. It's very linear in its style, but it's still a fun game. So at least those 6 hours are really fun. But is that worth $60? No. Once this game drops in price, I would consider picking it up. For the time being, rent it if you can, or see if you can borrow a copy from somebody. But, I really wanted to love this game, and I do. But for $60, it's just not all the way there, unfortunately. But I would love to see future games in the series, because it obviously sets up to be a multi-part, either trilogy or however many number of games they're going to make. But I love the atmosphere. I love the design. I love the story. There's so many cool plot points they don't finish off in the game that I know I want to be invested in future sequels. So the potential is there. They just need, I think, another game to figure out what they want to do with this series. But as far as the first one, really fun. But again, not worth that full price.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
You were listening to Game Attack Radio.
Great review. Short and sweet. Just like the game.
Yes, exactly. Matches it perfectly.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It sounded like you kind of contradicted yourself. Maybe it's me. You tell me if I'm wrong or not, but you were saying that it's pretty up there, and then you said that the game was at the end. So are you like in the middle, or I'm trying to figure this out?
No, from a game design standpoint, I really like the game a lot. I think it's a very fun, well-made third-person shooter. Mm-hmm. Like I said in the review, it's one of my favorite third-person shooters in recent years. But again, there aren't that many to begin with, as we've said off air. So not a huge field as FPS, but still, I play a lot. I play every third-person shooter that comes out. So I was definitely drawn to this already, and playing it reinforced that. I think the cover is handled well, good transition, doesn't feel clunky. Like I said on the review, I love the weapons. But yeah, to clarify, I really love the way the game plays, except for when it turns into like the quick time event movie thing or the boss fights, which are really, really bad. Like I can't even overstate how bad they are. You'll roll your eyes when you get to them. But that ruined the experience for me, because what I see is a shell of a really good game. It had a great story that it felt like the story was just starting to go somewhere, and then the game ends. Again, one of those really bad Halo 2 style endings where it's like dramatic, event and then cutscene credits.
That's the worst too.
It's the worst. And you're just why would they do that? No.
But here's the thing though, Pawson, like I like the graphics of the game, amazing looking game. But here's the issue that I have, and I know Paris is going to mention a couple things that we both played. The thing is, like, when you're covering yourself, right? I like how it is designed for Uncharted and Gears of War. You could turn around the camera, see what's going on. With this, if there's like a little wall, you can't really see who's shooting at you and where they're shooting at. Like, that really got annoying after a while.
Yeah, the camera is very close by most third-person shooter standards. So I could agree with that. If you're in some of the interiors, you are a little restricted in your line of sight. So yeah, I would agree with that. Okay. But again, my play style, usually I'm trying to rush in there or flank, and usually I'm not standing in one place for too long. But I could definitely agree that the camera work probably wasn't doing its full job in some of the smaller interior places. But yeah, I could see that.
Paris, any issues that you've seen with the game too?
Well, I just want to preface that my schedule's just been so busy, so I have not finished the game. I mean, despite it's
despite how short it is.
I've not finished it. But from what I've seen, I guess my phone wants to let you guys know that too. But from what I've played so far, I go more along the lines of what Boston is saying. Is just some of the gameplay mechanics. How can I best describe this? This game feels like a great concept. Like, I think the story's great. I'm engaged with the story so far. Obviously, graphically, it's one of the best games we've ever seen on a console, period. They've definitely captured that cinematic experience, no doubt. I mean, the look of London in 1886 is fantastic. But just the core gameplay, they didn't quite get. It was like right when I felt like I was about to start doing something cool, they switched it to a quick time event, or they switched me to a cutscene that I can't get out of. And that's the frustrating thing that I've seen so far. I'm actually sitting here hoping, all right, I hope this gets better. I hope this gets better, because I'm liking it, but it's just not enough of a game, so to speak. It's almost like an interactive movie. Like, I would say this, if Telltale brought this out and it was $20, probably be the greatest Telltale game ever. Everyone would be applauding it and loving it, right? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy, but
No, you're right. You're right.
This is a $60 supposedly AAA game coming from one of Sony's big studios. That's the frustration. It's not a concept. It's supposed to be this great game. And the fact that it got delayed to February, I kind of get now why it got delayed to February, because if Sony would have trotted this out during the holiday scene, could you think the press is back and forth now? Imagine this came out in November against Call of Duty or something like that. They would be getting destroyed. So, like I said, I haven't finished it, so I'm not judging the final product, only judging what I've played so far. It is a letdown, because I think there's a lot of good there, but there's just so many little things that are frustrating that keeps you from actually just immersing yourself in the game and enjoying it. And then, we obviously know it has a short gameplay time. So even if you were to get to the point where you're fully immersed, sounds like the game would end. Like Boston's saying, right when he felt like he was into it, it was over, and you want the next one.
Exactly. I mean, I could, sit here and talk spoilers all day, but like literally there's a transition moment in the game where you're just like, oh, wow, this game is a lot better than I thought it would be. And you're just like, oh, man, where's the story going to go? Oh, it's ending because they're making sequels. And you're like, why? Yeah. Like, I mean, again, this is half of a really, really good game. And in my opinion, a third of a great game. Like, if this had been 3 times as long, the 3-act thing, I think this would have been one of my favorite games ever. But the problem is, what would they have done to keep the gameplay fresh? Because, for the short 6 hours, I really love the third-person shooting. I mean, it's really fun. It never gets old to me because I still go back and replay some of the more fun combat sequences. But again, I don't know what they could have done to make the game stay that intriguing and interesting over a longer period of time if they weren't going to add other things. Because again, those quick time events are just, I mean, especially being part of an unskippable cutscene, you don't even know when the quick time event's going to happen. I mean, it just, you can't even really almost enjoy the cutscenes because you're like, am I gonna have to do something while I'm watching this? But that really bugged me. I gotta say. But overall, I mean, it's a fun game. But like, for $60, I mean, dang, really, that's.
Well, Pete, do you have any questions though for us?
No, I think you pretty much answered it.
Okay.
I have to agree. I mean, if they would have brought this out during the holiday hot season, I can't imagine the fire that would have hit the internet.
It would have been bad.
Yeah. Maybe it was good that they did release it now, as opposed to maybe they did think ahead and like, maybe this isn't the system seller we originally thought it was. So, well,
it's better that they released it now because later this year there's gonna be so many good games, So.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is probably the best time they could have put it.
Yeah. All the other games will overshadow it, and nobody knows about it. It'll just disappear and fade away.
Well, I try to live by a simple philosophy: any game that comes out after the middle of December until the end of February, it's not going to be good unless it's Mass Effect 2. That's the only one.
I could sit here and name examples all day.
Please give me another one because I'm telling you, I'm scratching my head.
I'll get back to you next week. I'll go
it's got to be quick.
What am I going to do? Put old Wikipedia in front of you guys?
I can tell you one right now. Oblivion.
That was March.
That was March.
Bam. Oh,
March 22nd.
Wasn't it February? What?
2006.
Wow, so you ready for the date?
That was the day I got my 360 because I wanted it so bad. I had to wait from launch November to March 22nd. Oblivion launch.
You know what? I'm going to look for games.
Magical day.
And I'm going to mention it next week, Paris, just for you.
Yeah, I'll do some research too. But no, I mean, he's right. For overall, yes, you're not putting out your best games in that time period. But I mean, since the 2007 Renaissance, I feel like they've done a better job of getting at least fun games, not good, but fun games into that time period where I still have something to do, but not waiting on, the first big blockbuster to come out. But yeah, Mass Effect 2. You can't beat that one.
All right, next topic. Which one?
Alan Wake.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
It's a good one.
We got some mixed opinions on
Paris,
Alan Wake.
don't you dare, Paris.
It could have been the best game ever, but
It's all good.
it was
All right, so very quick. Before we read our long emails here, shout out to the fan mail people out there. So, Microsoft lower the price Xbox Live Gold to $40.
Can I stop all the excitement right here before we guys get too excited?
Oh no!
I have verification straight from Major Nelson through Reddit that quote, the price has not been officially lowered. This is a temporary price promotion by the Microsoft Store, just like when you see it on sale at Amazon. End quote. Temporary. So hop on this if you want this cheap Xbox Live for $40.
God, they should keep it $40. I think that would be great.
I mean, that would be a huge blow at Sony.
Thanks a lot, Major.
But, I mean, again,
just killed it.
They can make that 60. They're going to charge that 60. That's just
killed
man.
it, man. I got so excited.
Sorry, guys. I didn't want to get you guys too excited. I'm glad I called it early.
But it does ask a fundamental question, and I think we can continue to talk about it on theory. I personally think they're testing the waters. I think this is E3. I think they are going to lower the price at E3. I think
it follows their path. They throw out the price drop, test the water. Okay, this is good. This is solid. Let it stay.
Yeah, because I think PlayStation Plus is still the better value as we go right now. Just simply on the games that you're getting alone, it more than just pays for itself. PlayStation Network has caught up enough to Xbox Live in reliability. And look, I send hate mail now. I know it doesn't work 100%. Trust me, I know. I get frustrated too. But it does work. I mean, the chat and everything works well enough that for that $50 I'm paying a year, if I had to choose, I'll put it that way, I'm taking PlayStation Plus over Xbox Live Gold as we sit here today. I think what they tried to promote Xbox Live Gold as in previous years, a lot of that stuff had to be stripped out. Like they took down the paywall for things like Netflix and all that. So you have to really look at it and ask yourself, what are you paying for? You're paying for, obviously the voice chat, you're paying for multiplayer games, and you're paying to get the Xbox Live games for gold, which don't hold a candle to what Sony's doing for PlayStation Plus. I personally think, as aggressive as Phil Spencer has been since he's taking over at Xbox, it just makes sense for him to try and lower the price of that to entice more people to want to be on Xbox Live Gold and to want to pick up an Xbox One. Just makes sense. Why not? Put the pressure back on Sony to make them drop the price of PlayStation Plus. Be the cheaper option, just like they're the cheaper option now, for the console. Xbox One is cheaper than PlayStation. So at some point, there's going to be pressure on Sony to drop the price, of the PlayStation 4.
Man, E3 is going to be very interesting this year. Man.
All right, Danny, by the way,
row seats, get the popcorn.
Let's jump back. I've got 4 or 5 games that have launched in that time frame, Paris, actually, for you. That may make you change your mind.
Okay.
Heavy Rain.
It was fun.
I don't know.
Okay. We'll continue on. We'll make it quick. BioShock 2.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you that one.
Part 2?
Yes.
Part 2.
Part 2 was
You know
good.
what? It was better than
Infinite, yes.
No.
The combat was better than the first
And I'll leave the
one, no
last
question.
one for last because I think Danny's going to lose his Darksiders.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Devil May Cry. I enjoyed it. DMC.
I liked it.
I liked it.
DMC?
I liked
And the last one,
really.
Bayonetta.
Hell yes.
Boom. Sold.
Okay.
Sold. Between Bayonetta and Mass Effect 2, I mean, I think that's all the evidence.
I said Mass Effect 2. That's like the exception, but
I'm saying that's a given. You're right on that
But
one. Add
BioShock 2
Bayonetta in
for
there,
sure, because I have a higher appreciation for that game as the years have gone on. Yeah, Bayonetta. And what was the other one you said? God, now I'm forgetting.
Heavy Rain.
Darksiders and DMC and Heavy Rain.
Darksiders.
Cinematic experience is what is that?
That's what the Order Part 5. That's all that is.
Exactly. And that was just January, February games going back up till about 2009.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
All right, so now we have a couple emails here and also voicemail. So which one we should start? A voicemail or emails, guys?
Can I pause for a second? Because this happened in real time, so I'm sure by the time people hear the podcast, this is old news. Have you seen this stupid dress on Ellen? Oh,
No.
God. Okay,
Ellen
I'll
wears
just shut
dresses?
up about it. Just after the podcast, Ellen has holding up a dress. What color is it? There is a huge social media debate right now. What color?
Oh my god, my friend just sent me that.
What? What's going on?
Viral internet.
For the record, I say it's white and gold, but I guess supposedly
I said white and
other
gold
people
too,
are
right?
saying
How do you
it's
question
black
that?
and something else or blue or whatever. I was like, oh God.
Nah, I see white and gold right there with you, Paris.
I don't even know.
What a small
I don't even know what
internet,
the hell you
Jesus.
guys talking about.
Nah, that was so weird. We just connected with that. Yeah, no one else would know what we're talking about.
All right, so now we have the first email here, fan mail. Paris, I think this is a perfect email for you.
Okay.
So you would like to read it?
Sure, I will read it. This is from Cameron, and he says, "Hey, GTR. First, would like to say I freaking love your podcast. Hey, we freaking love you too. I stumbled across the GTR podcast in January 2014 on iHeartRadio. See, go to iHeartRadio, go to iTunes, go to everywhere. We're everywhere. And have listened to all your shows since. I have flip-flopped over the last 10 to 15 years between Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii. When the new gen consoles came out, I went to the Xbox One, and I do not regret it." Well, okay, good for you. I'm just kidding. Even though some of the PlayStation exclusives seem really fun, my only regret, because I'm such a huge sports fan, is MLB The Show. So my question to you guys is, will Paris, that's me, be doing a review on the game? Yes, I will. And do you guys know of why not, and when the Xbox will be getting an MLB game and not a crappy game like RBI LOL? Thanks again for your podcast. Keep it up. Tell Paris to stop being so hard on Danny about Sunset Overdrive. I think it is a fun game to play. Yes.
Thank you.
You just give ammunition.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I gotta. You know, a lot of people say that they felt bad for me last week. I'm like, why?
I feel bad for you.
Why?
Because you had put it out there to send feedback and nobody sent anything.
No,
and I kept rubbing
the whole
it in.
time.
And you had you got to give it 5 weeks, Paris.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, but no. To answer his question,
you're gonna be reviewing it,
yes, right? I mean, I get that just by default. I get that game every year by default. So yeah, I absolutely will have a review on it and be giving my thoughts on it. I know the reason Xbox doesn't have it. It's a licensing issue. I think I could be wrong. I think 2K still has the MLB license, but they stopped making the game. I don't know what Major League Baseball has decided to try and give it to someone else. Sony gets it because you can put out, if they self-publish it, they can put out a sports game. That's why they put out MLB The Show every year. And I could be not 100% correct on how that whole licensing thing works. But unless Microsoft specifically wants to put out an MLB game, there won't be one on Xbox unless MLB works out the license again and gets it to another third-party publisher.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio.
Pete, I think this one is a pretty good one for you. Destiny versus Timefall.
All right, this one comes from Dennison, or we'll just call you.
I just call him Dennis.
D-Havoc, shout out.
Or Dennis Espinosa. There we go.
Or his gamer tag is at the bottom. So.
Okay.
Yeah, D-Havoc.
D-Havoc.
Would you like to read the
Whatever,
message?
man. What are names?
No, I'm just...
Okay. I didn't
Please,
think
Pete, continue.
I'm going to, I guess I'll just read it really quickly. What's good, GTR crew? Been a fan going on 3 years now. Just want to say thanks for the continued epicness you guys bring to the table. My email is about comparing Titanfall and Destiny. He frequents the n4g.com website and reads all kinds of stuff. Pretty much all of us do, I'm sure. Basically, everything people were hating about TF or Titanfall, they love in Destiny. How come? Titanfall was getting clowned for having no story, capped at 6 versus 6, and always being online. These cons all plague Destiny, but Paris and Pete Rock eat it up. I don't get it. I haven't played Destiny since completing the story, quote unquote, the story. Honestly, it felt too much like Halo from the movement to the AI. I swore I saw a Needler, a Harpy from ODST, and just overall the slow pace of the PvP. Halo RPG is what it should have been called. Glad I paid half price, but digitally, woe is me. Thanks for the time. XD Havoc 24X. That's a 0 instead of an O on Xbox Live.
So He called you out though, kind of. No,
Not really.
no. Okay.
He's not calling us out specifically. He's not understanding why something like Titanfall, is just universally, you're reading all this bad stuff about it, but then you see all article after article about Destiny. He just feels like they're the same thing. I actually replied to him an email during the week, and what I explained to him about Destiny is where he's at in the game. And trust me, I understand it's a grind. You got to put in the work to get there. But until you start getting to those nightfall strikes, and obviously, especially the raids and the hard mode raids, even more specifically, that's that sweet spot of Destiny. That's that digital crack that keeps you coming back. Now, I personally like the PvP on Destiny. I play it all the time. I'm perfectly happy with it, but I do see room for a lot of improvement with some of the things I need to do. And as far as his comment about Halo, the guys that made Halo made Destiny. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to that. But, yeah, similarities. But when going back to Titanfall, Titanfall, to me, since they done all these updates and they put out some of this new DLC maps and everything for it, new modes, it's a fantastic game. I still play it, from time to time. Funny enough, because I also have Titanfall on the PC, just a side note, I got curious and I went on to see how many people are playing it on PC. Oof. There was less than about 2,000 people online when I played.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm talking across modes. I'm like adding it up across modes. It was like less than 2,000 people.
On PC.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh. And that's a great game, though.
I mean, for me, and I'd probably shadow Paris on a lot of his comments. I'm not a fan of the PvP. That carries over from my dislike of the PvP from Halo. And I was never a fan of that. I was always a single player campaign person. For me, it's the co-op and getting down with a group, whether it's 2 other people for Nightfalls or knocking out my daily bounties or, pairing up with my regular 6. And I mean, I have 2 text message groups of people and most of them are the same people. It's just 1 or 2 people come in and out and they don't play as often, but it's that camaraderie and that getting together and doing those raids and knocking, especially when it gets to the hard mode raids, because those are those throw your controller through the throw the TV screen moments where it's like you're just there and like he said, it keeps you coming back. I mean, there's nights where we've spent 5 or 6 hours, we can't beat the raid on hard, and the next day I'm like looking at my clock and it's like 4 o'clock and I'm like, come on, dude, this next half hour is gonna suck. But as Paris said, Titanfall for everything that they've done since the beginning, I mean, they've done nothing but improve what they initially delivered. I mean, I played it today after work. I played it today for an hour. It still holds up. It still holds up a year after launch. And it's
definitely,
they're both good games. It's just that right now, Destiny has done for me what hasn't happened in many, many, many years since COD 4 came out and Modern Warfare 2 came out, where I'm coming home and I'm ignoring my fatherly and husbandly duties, and I'll admit it, and I'm coming home and I'm putting my backpack down and I'm turning on Destiny. I'm looking on my app, and now with the new update, I can make changes, take stuff off my characters, throw it in the vault, bring it back over to my other characters without even coming home and picking up the controller.
Oh yeah, God, I so love that. I
did that today. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. I'm so happy.
I mean, to answer your question, they're both great games, but right now, I think Destiny just has the one up on everybody else right now.
And side note on Destiny before we move on.
Destiny.com. There we go.
I know.
DestinyRadio.com. Here we go.
I purposely try not to talk about it a lot on here because I know people get annoyed by that. But since we're on the subject of it, I just want to say this. If you're on the PlayStation 4 and you want to go do a Nightfall, you want to go do a raid or something, hit me up. Vicious696. Shoot me a friend request. And then after you do that, send me a message and let me know how you found me. Because a lot of people, I get invites all the time when I'm playing on Destiny. I'm in the middle of something and I'll ignore it unless you send me a message because I'm off doing something else. But definitely, if you're new to the game, you want to go through some of the stuff, you're kind of frustrated. Hey, I will go back and do the original grind, which I don't mind helping out people so that they can kind of understand why I like it so much. Or if you're looking to do a raid and you're intimidated trying to find people to play with, hit me up. I'll absolutely jump in. I do it all the time. So
Paris will be your Yoda. He will help you and take you to the final.
And I'll be I'll be Emperor Palpatine. Look me up, X Pete Rock X on Xbox Live, and I'll help you out. Actually, you know what? I helped out Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix. I helped him out today, knocking out bounties and how to do them quicker without having to waste too much time. So
yeah, absolutely. Because look, I'll put it to you this way, and I'll shut up about Destiny. It's a game. It's a game I'm always going to play. You know, like I can even say my original raid crew. A lot of them, they're off playing Evolve and other things, which is fine. But I still play it. I'm still integrated into playing Destiny somewhat regularly. And then obviously when House of Wolves comes out, I'll be back in full in playing. But it's a game. If you ask me 2 years from now, I bet you I'm still playing it on some level.
Oh, mark that on your calendars, everyone.
Yep.
All right.
I believe it.
Posse, you want to read one from Ryan Cage? You want to read that?
All right. Shout out to Ryan. This is emails from him. He writes, seriously, Sunset Overdrive is my favorite game. It took me a couple of hours to really get the hang of the controls, but after I did, it was tough to put down. I found the story interesting, I loved the humor, and it was just plain fun. I laughed out loud many times, and the mechanics to the different missions were clever and diverse. I'm also impressed by the fact that this is a new IP. Other new IPs in this generation seem to have some obvious flaw. Titanfall was fun, but no campaign. Same thing with Evolve. Destiny has no/underdeveloped story. Order 1886 is short. The crew and Watch Dogs both fell short of expectations and were smaller in scope than promised. But Sunset was great. Sunset is my favorite game of this generation by far, but I'm afraid that it didn't do well enough to warrant a sequel. My favorite titles have always been the second in the series. Mass Effect 2, Assassin's Creed 2, Halo 2. I'd love to see what they can do. Thanks, guys. I love the show. Shout out to Ryan. His gamer tag is Genesis4747 on the Xbox.
No wonder Dan
I agree with everything he said, except that.
Of course you did.
That they're not going to make a sequel. I think they're going to.
I don't think they are.
I think they will make one.
I think they are.
They've got to be, if this game is as successful as you say it is, they have a high bar now, and if they don't meet or exceed that, they will have failed. And do they want to do that?
Keep on sleeping, guys. You remember me?
I don't. I
remember me
can
a
see
couple
Sunset
years
Overdrive being such a great game with a sequel. A lot of games deserve sequels.
Hello, Phantom Dust wasn't even successful back in the days, and they're gonna bring that back because they see the potential. That's what I'm trying to say. They see the potential. It's not like, to me, Sunset Overdrive, great game. They invested a lot, and they see the potential for this to be even a bigger game when the sequel comes out, and they learn from their mistakes from the last one. That's why I feel like they are planning to release a sequel in the future.
Okay, here's, and I'm not being funny or anything. I don't think there's going to be a sequel, and here's why. Insomniac has their franchise titles that they make, the Ratchet and Clanks, that they're going to continue to do. And I can't even remember the name of the game now. They just had another game that came out on 360 towards the end that was an original IP that didn't do well. Fuse, there you go. To me, Sunset Overdrive getting a sequel would be the equivalent of that game getting a sequel. The sales numbers don't warrant investing the time and money into going into another sequel. They instead would be better off trying to launch off another IP with their second team, because they have like two studios now with North Carolina and out here in LA. So I just don't know. Like let me put it this way. Look at Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog successfully had a new IP in The Last of Us. They're going to make another Last of Us, but they will always keep making some kind of Uncharted as well. So my point is they're constantly doing two games at the same time. And what you're saying is they're going to do a Ratchet and Clank, and then they're going to do a sequel to a new IP that wasn't a success. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like Pierce, I agree with you. I would prefer that Insomniac makes another new IP for Xbox. I'm always for new IPs, but I just feel that this game sold well enough, and it certainly sold a lot better than Fuse. Fuse didn't sell at all, but it sold well enough where I think that Microsoft will help fund the development of this, because they don't want Insomniac to run back to Sony and keep making, amazing Ratchet and Clank games that Xbox owners will never get. So I kind of feel like they're going to give Insomniac enough money either to make a sequel or to make something that they feel will work as good or hopefully better than Sunset.
Okay, that's the better question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I guess that's the better question. So Danny, you feel Microsoft, Phil Spencer, will invest the money into publishing for another exclusive I forget the name now. Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive. Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, but they'll invest to put out another Sunset Overdrive.
Yes, I'll tell you this why. Because him and Microsoft overall, they see the potential. Plus, Sunset Overdrive, out of the all new IPs that came out, is the one that has the best reviews out of all the new IPs that came out this generation so far. And they see the potential. They might invest for a sequel because of that. And they got awards and stuff. Yes, the sales, it wasn't probably, groundbreaking like The Last of Us, but it's up there. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right. Well, speaking of sequels, I think we have a voicemail from a listener.
Yes, this ties in great. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and listen to that voicemail, and it actually will segue right into that.
Hey, what's going on, Gamer Tag Radio? This is Keon, once again calling from Baltimore, Maryland. Just wanted to say thank you so much, brother, for taking my last voicemail. It was pretty awesome hearing myself on the show. Somewhat of a semi-dream come true. I really enjoy you guys. The program is awesome once again, and I'm just a very huge fan of you guys. You guys work very hard at E3, and I just definitely appreciate you answering, well, not you, but, y'all, the whole team, answering why the show is the length that it is. Thank you so much for that. But I do have one other question for you. Has there ever been a game that you thought didn't get a fair shake the first time out, where you would have liked to have seen a sequel to it, but because the numbers were too low, where it wasn't a quote-unquote commercial success to allow for the developers to make a sequel to it, what would that game be? Mine personally was Bulletstorm. I was a very huge fan of Bulletstorm. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought that the mechanics that it brought to the table for it to be a first-person shooter was something just totally, totally unique. The mechanic kill with skill, it was a really awesome premise. So I just was curious to know, once again, what game you guys like to have seen a sequel to that didn't get one? Thank you very much, Danny and the Gamertag crew, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Definitely keep working hard. It's always a pleasure to listen to y'all. Y'all take care.
All right, man, I have one, but if you guys want to start, you want me to tell you mine right away?
No, I'll say mine first.
You're excited.
Wait, you go last. Danny goes last.
Yes.
Remember last week you were threatening to go last, so go last.
There you go. All right.
Mine would just simply be Beyond Good and Evil. Period. I want a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil. They've teased it. They've talked about it, but they still have not officially done it. So I want to see a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil.
I think this is going to be the year.
I hope so.
At E3. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember 2 E3s ago, there was some fake leaks ahead of E3, and one was for Ubisoft, and it was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, that alpha gameplay?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be mine.
One day it'll happen.
That would be mine. That's just the game.
Great
that
choice.
I would see. Yeah.
Gotta agree with that.
Great choice. Next.
Okay, I'll go. For me, PlayStation, a PlayStation exclusive, Haze from PlayStation 3.
Huh. That game always interested me, but I didn't have a PS3 back then.
And it had so much hype. It was supposed to be the Halo killer. And it never.
Yeah, the story sounded great.
And it never delivered.
You know what?
I think it failed. That was their mistake for comparing it to.
Yeah.
Well, every game that they've put out that they've said is the Halo killer
since the first Killzone, they've always
has fallen on its face. And this, unfortunately, it was one of those games, and it just had so much hype, and it had so much promise, but it failed in every way. Like, and similar to the same complaints of The Order, it had an extremely short single player campaign. Just visually, it just didn't do what everybody said it was going to do. It was just overall bad. And if there was a game that I would like to play that could, like, if it had the chance to redeem itself, I'd say Haze.
And Pete, you want to know the irony?
What?
The team that did Perfect Dark Zero did Haze.
Oh Lord!
So take everything you just said and it all applies to Perfect Dark Zero too. It's like the same exact issue.
That wound is never going to heal. I'm never going to get over that.
Yeah.
God, I miss Perfect Dark.
Hardest achievements ever. But go ahead.
Yeah, oh man, they were really experimenting with those early 360 games, making them hard as garbage. Jeez.
Yeah.
Remember the best one, Ghost Recon, be the best in the world? Ah, that was great.
Yeah.
But no, for me, I think I already brought this up earlier about when we were talking about the new 3DS, but my sequel that I want is The World Ends With You 2, or A Beautiful World if you live in Japan.
Beautiful game.
Great game. Again, like, I pretty much fell out of fashion with JRPGs when I was a kid, when I realized that they were just doing way too much, and I was just not caring. I'd rather play other kinds of games. And it kind of built, and then I realized Western RPGs are more my style, so I played more of those. So I've always kind of been love and hate with Japanese RPGs. You know, Final Fantasy IX is my favorite Final Fantasy, but The World Ends With You was so special because I knew nothing about it until I started playing it. And again, if you have an original Nintendo DS, you owe it yourself to find a copy of this game. It's Square Enix, first party. They did everything. Wasn't no outsourced development. They decided to tell themselves, let's see if we can make a good original IP. And they did. And they totally killed it. The music was amazing. The combat was fresh for the DS. You know, one of those games you can go back and play again and again and again. It really rewards you. You can connect with other people to level up your powers. I mean, I just don't understand why this didn't get a sequel, because it sold well. I mean, it sold well enough. It sold out in the United States for a while. Like, you couldn't find one until they started making more of them. So I don't know what the holdup is. I mean, obviously, it's made for the 3DS. They need to make a sequel. Come on, Nintendo. What are you sleeping on over there?
Yeah.
So much money.
All right.
That's mine.
This one is pretty good. This game came out in 2010 and is developed by Ninja Theory, and it was published by Namco Bandai. Enslaved: Odyssey to the West. Do you remember that game?
That was a cool game. It was beautiful visually. And
beautiful
the
game.
Faces
and
were
the
great.
Ending of that game was like, what?
See, I didn't play that much of it. I didn't ready to finish it.
Oh my God. I love that game, man. And I even had Mandy we both reviewed this game, and this is like one of my all-time favorite games for the 360, and people slept on it big time. So I just want to, but I think we should wrap it up, guys. We should wrap it up. It's been a very long show. And anything else you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
No, wow, we covered a lot in this show.
I think we covered
a lot.
For all the people that were wanting a longer show, boom, you got it. Merry Christmas. It came early.
Merry Christmas. Early gift for you guys. But we are working behind the scenes to get some pretty good interviews for GTR. So I'll keep you posted. Just follow me on Twitter. All that good stuff, man. And I'll let you know if we have any big ones coming up. So make sure, guys, to go to to gamertagradio.com.
I have one last thing.
Also, go for it.
No, I was just going to say by the time this episode comes out, GDC will be getting ready to happen. So I'm sure on the next episode, we'll have a lot to talk about as far as what Valve is doing with their VR and with the new Steam machines and the controller.
I don't know, man. I'm a little worried, man. Too much VR hype, man, from everybody. I don't know.
I want to believe.
I want to believe.
I want to believe. I want to try VR and have my mind blown at E3 this year. Yeah. Come on, this is the year.
Trust in Gabe.
I personally don't believe.
I believe in Gabe. Gabe has never done me wrong.
I personally don't believe until I actually do VR and see it, do it with my own two eyes. But I got a feeling there's going to be some variant of a Portal or maybe even a Half-Life. That's going to be the signature game for this thing.
Ooh, if that happens, man.
Half-Life 3? Best game ever?
I'm going to say sure. No way. But I can see them running a demo, doing a Portal demo with this thing. Would be fantastic.
I think so.
If it truly works the way that they're saying. So,
I tell you this, if they do announce that, oh my God, the crowd they're going to go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of a better app than Portal 3 or something similar. I think they should. At least some tech demo.
Yeah.
But, well, we'll see.
We will see.
All right, we'll talk about that next week. All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. Also, head over to play.it. Make sure to share the page, share the podcast, let people know about GTR, and give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Or email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com.
I have one thing to say before you leave. I'm sorry. Now you know how it feels when people cut you off.
One more thing.
Pete sent all of us in our little chat The twice fried strawberry burger on strawberry French toast. Yes, fried twice.
Twice.
Sweet Jesus.
Twice.
That looks
Oh
delicious.
my God. I'm gonna be
You're
fat.
welcome.
I'm gonna be fat Paris.
You got to mail me one of these
Fat
things.
Paris coming soon. Podcast near you.
All right, guys. Until next week, we are out. Peace.
Yeah.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.